Good morning, everybody. Well, I slept like an absolute stone. I uploaded the vlog and I got onto bed, fell fast asleep, woke up at about 12:30, got into bed, continued to sleep. Then I woke up fairly late, had a lovely breakfast, had a lovely coffee, and now I'm hitting the road, heading west to somewhere. So 2 bits of housekeeping for the vlog. Number one, somebody sent me a pair of pants to the chateau. Now we presume they're for me because, well, they won't fit Dan because he's a slim-hipped little minx. They won't fit Nick because, well, they're not made of animal pelt and the legs are a bit long. He'd look like someone from the 90s rap band Criss Cross if you put them on, put it that way. So we presume they're for me. So whoever sent them, thank you very much. There was no note attached, but basically they are a pair of pants with many pockets, and I wore them around Vichy yesterday and they were super comfy, and I had many places to put all my various little bits and bobs that I carry around with me. I would go so far as to say they're my current favourite pair of pants. So whoever sent them in, thank you very much. I really appreciate them. Now, second bit of housekeeping is, and I can't believe I'm saying this again, but this is the last time I'm going to say this. Someone keeps sending me messages and comments every time I upload a video saying, "Why aren't you helping Dan at the chateau?" with lots of exclamation marks and capital letters. So I need to clarify this for the last time. I don't choose when I work. What happens is, we all get together, Dan says, "I need help this week, I don't need help that week." And it's as simple as that. And when we're not working at the chateau, I go and do my own thing, and Nick goes and does his own thing, which, by going by his last WhatsApp message, looks like he's forging a sword, I think. I'm not sure. So if you see Dan at the chateau on his own, it's because he wants to be there on his own. The thing about us that we all have in common is we really like our own space. We really like just spending time on our own. It's great. We all have it in common, which I know is ironic considering we kind of put our lives out there on YouTube, but that's just the way it is. And that will be the last time you hear me talk about that. Now, interesting trivia fact for you. We've just passed through a town called Randan. And Randan is famous for, anyone? The production of randonite. Randonite, I hear you say? What's that? Well, it's one of the primary ingredients in dynamite. And they produce it in randonite. Now, I don't know if they still produce it there. And there's a place in Algiers, I think, that also makes it. So that town has a real booming economy. And you thought there'd be no more jokes on the vlog. Shame on you. Right, we're headed home, but by way of a place where I want to go, but I shouldn't go. Because every time I go there, I end up buying useless stuff. No, that's not fair. I end up buying useful stuff that I don't need. Although, I bought something in this place many years ago that I never used. But on Saturday last, when the open day was on, it would have come in really handy. But I'd left it at home. So, yeah, if these people had any sense, they would just ban me from their shop. So we're going there because I'm not banned yet. And, you know, it's semi on the way home. And the place we're going to is... See, the great thing about this place is, when you go in there, you don't know you needed a thing until you see it. And then when you see it, you realise how much you really needed it in the first place. My theory, anyway. Now, before we continue at Middle-Aged Man's Disneyland, I do want to mention that I put up a post the other day because I've been getting a lot of questions lately, and the thing about when people ask me questions is they might ask them in the comments or on Instagram, but it's hard to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's hard to keep them all in the same place, because if it's a comment, sometimes I'll sort of see it because I try and go through the comments, but then other comments come in and it kind of gets lost on the list. So I put up a post saying, if you have any questions, please post them below. And I'll try and answer a few of them because they keep coming in. Some of the same questions keep coming in as well. Some of the same questions keep coming in as well. So I thought I'd sort of try and answer a few in a video. So one question I do get asked a lot is, how big is your farm, Brian? Well, since we're in IKEA, let's do IKEA maths. Well, the average size of an IKEA store is about 5 acres. And my farm is over 20 acres. So that's approximately 5 IKEA stores. That's how big my farm is. Did your mum find the dresser and the wardrobe she was looking for? No, but she did go to a resourcery and got some bits and bobs. I think she got like a table or something. So she left happy, put it that way. But no, she hasn't got the buffet or the wardrobe she was looking for. Well, you'll be pleased to know I didn't buy loads of stuff. I bought 2 corkscrews and 2 packets of them. They're like cinnamon rolls without the cream on them, just cinnamon. Very nice with a coffee. Why do you have so many cars, Brian? Well, I got 3, 4. Okay, 5 if you can include the tractor. Got the Mercedes, Pascal, and the Super Sank, which you're sitting on at the moment. And the reason I got so many is, well, they all have different purposes and uses around this place. So I mean, as an example, why do I have a 35-year-old little white French van called Pascal? If you move to rural France, you're gonna need a van. Because chances are, if you're moving to rural France, you probably have a house that needs a little bit of work that needs doing to it. And you're gonna need a van to help you complete that work. Now you can go off and buy a big van, but they tend to be, well, expensive, and then you've got a big van sitting about the place. But with Pascal, I have a nice little small van that I can get loads of stuff in the back of, but it can also kind of drive around like a car, and in this case, a camper van. So when I first moved to rural France, I did have a big van. In fact, I bought a big van, second-hand, to help move here. But it was going to be a pain to re-register, and I figured if I was getting another vehicle that had to be French, well, I'd need something kind of more versatile than just a big old van. So my mate Joe, well actually my mate Steve, found me Pascal, and he was 1,600 quid. And he'd had 1 owner since new, or 2 I think, one owner since new. And Pascal has been absolutely super useful in many, many aspects of my life. I've had like half a ton of tiles in the back of Pascal, poor Pascal. I've had timber and copper and OSB sheets and all sorts on the roof. And now I use them as a little runabout and a camper van. And the great thing about it is I don't need a massive camper van. In fact, I don't want a massive camper van, because where would I park a massive camper van around here? It'd just be in the way. Well, Pascal can get tucked into the corner of the workshop, pulled out when needed for adventures, and also if you need to go and get 3 or 4 bags of cement for something. So Pascal is a really useful little thing to have. And if you are thinking about moving over here, keep your eyes open for a little Pascal. Because everyone loves Pascal. In fact, Pascal's featuring currently in his own little series of cartoons on Instagram. Would you like to see it? So another question I get a lot is, how's your greenhouse doing, Brian? Well, it's flying. I've still got tomatoes tomatoing. They're not very big, but they are there. Kind of like salad tomatoes. I've got some cucumbers, which are still producing. There's one there. I've got plenty of herbs and stuff like that. So I've got mint there, I've got parsley, I've got chives, I've got rosemary. And I had lettuce, but that's all finished now. But that's about it really. So it's been very handy to have because it's provided a lot of summer salads this year. I think what I'll do now is once it stops greenhousing, I'll clear all the beds out, have a chat with Nick about what to plant and when to plant it, and get it all prepped and ready for next year. But it's still sort of squeezing out the odd tomato and a bit of an old small cucumber at the moment. So we'll yeah, just sort of see how it goes for the next few weeks. Probably not much more in it, if I'm honest. Right, 2 things down here I need to do. Now, when I moved here, One of the things I did, one of the very first things I did, was change all the light fittings because, well, they were all ancient and they needed changing. So when I changed them all, I changed them to the screw-in type of bulb that you can get now because, well, that's sort of how it's going really. And all the bulbs are LEDs in this house. So it saves a bit on energy and, you know, they don't blow as often. Now, the only two light fittings I did not change were the ones in the cellar, this cellar. These ones are still old pushing, sort of pull-in ones. So I managed to find a new LED bulb with an old style, I don't know, bayonet fitting. And it keeps blowing. I think it's the light fittings just, well, ancient. So my plan is to either change the light fitting for something a bit more suitable or get some new bulbs. I don't think of any of these left. So I'm going to get another bulb, same as this, see if that works. And also maybe get a light fitting because this room's going to see a bit of work next week. And it's been work I've been putting off for too long. But my friends have just left to go back to Spain. So the house is empty for the next couple of weeks until the next lot of my friends arrive to spend some time here. So it's a good opportunity to crack on with some jobs that need doing in this house that I can do myself. Now there are jobs I can't do myself. That stove needs to be plumbed in properly and hopefully that's happening in November. Although he is coming to have a look at the job again in the next couple of weeks to just make sure it's all squared away in his head. But I can do a couple of jobs here on my own. So one of them is going to be in the kitchen. The other one's going to be in the cellar. There was another one somewhere. Oh yeah, behind that wall. I'll tell you more about that next week. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this hodgepodge of a vlog. But it's just me today now getting ready to get all the stuff I need to crack on with some jobs here on the farm next week. So I'm going to take the weekend to do that. Possibly get this disaster zone of a haircut addressed because it's just annoying me at this stage. And then I'll see you bright and early next Monday for who knows what. Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend and I'll see you soon.